Hello everyone. Welcome to RevSim review chapter. So in this chapter, I would like to talk about your RevSim experience throughout the simulation game so far. And I would like to start by talking about the decision-making process. So we have run the simulation since the beginning of the term, along with the class content that you have been reviewing. And at the beginning, it was very overwhelming to you because you had to make so many decisions without really understanding the essence of revenue management. But at this point in the semester, we have covered majority of the topics that are essential to developing a revenue management strategy, and your understanding and decision-making process in the simulation should have become much more developed at this point of the semester. So let's talk about some of the pieces of this decision-making process. So at the beginning, all teams were allocated $500,000 to create value, right? To create value for their target customers. So you had limited funds. Also, you had the opportunity to apply another $500,000 from the bank to create additional value for your target customers. Some teams choose to borrow the additional $500,000, and some teams choose not to borrow extra $500,000 additional dollars. Whatever your decision was, you use your funds to create value, right? And in the game, we can create value in 3 different ways. We can add facilities, we can add services, or we can do refurbishments. In the context of refurbishments, we can do a contract cleaning, which is a monthly expense, right? Versus renovation, we have soft goods redo and full renovation, where you are using your funds, capital investment funds, different than contract cleaning cost. So you certainly had to do something to create value, right? Because you start the game, all of you, as a 4-star hotel in North America, in the same location, with same 300 rooms, 250 standard rooms, and 50 premium rooms. So this is also, you have to understand that this is also one of the premises of revenue management. We have to create value for our target customers so that they have a reason to choose us, right? So this is the first step. And the second step that you had to understand is the process of forecasting. Why do we forecast demand? Because we want to understand what is the demand in the marketplace and what is the demand to our hotel, right? And we operationalize this concept as occupancy forecast. So when we forecast the demand in the simulation, we are basically doing a short-term occupancy forecast, where the system itself calculates unconstrained demand, and from that we get our fair share. Then we have already some reservations on hand. These are prior bookings that are made, and then we have some estimated cancellations and no-shows. So the only figure that we input into the simulation is estimated pickup. So based on our occupancy forecast, we develop a pricing strategy, right? And we have this strategy for 3 main segments, including our transient segment, our discount segment, and our group segment. And within each segment, we have sub-segments that total up to, I think, about 9 segments that we are pricing throughout the game. Also, we need to make a decision about rate parity. So this topic is related to management of distribution channels. So if you follow rate parity, you are charging same rate across all distribution channels. In the simulation, we have 4 distribution channels: direct, online travel agency, global distribution system, and wholesale. In real world, we have multiple direct channels. You can have a CRS, you can call the hotel directly, you can go to the hotel website. These are all direct channels. In real world, we have many online travel agencies that a hotel works with, but we have one in the system. Global distribution systems, right? Through global distribution system, a hotel communicates with many different travel agencies. In the system, we have only one GDS and only one wholesaler. So this is what we do in terms of our pricing. And then when we decide our pricing, we have to think about our value versus our competitors' value, right? And we look at this at price by looking at price value map, and also by looking at reputation management page, right? Because what we charge in terms of our price depends on how customers value us in comparison to our competitors. So for example, if your value is better than your competitors, you can charge higher prices than your competitors, right? If the value you provide to your target customers is worse than your competitors, then you cannot charge as high as your competitors. So this price value relationship is very important, and this is the premise of value-based pricing, right? We need to create values that our customers are willing to pay for. Then we have to put together a pricing structure that matches our value. And then next step is the marketing and advertising. So once we create value and have prices that match our value, then we need to communicate these prices to our customers. Price communication happens through marketing and advertising. So in marketing part, it's very simple. You just make a selection in terms of what you would like to invest. But many teams didn't do a great job in advertising. And when we jump into the game, I am going to talk about that. It was quite important to optimize advertising decisions in order to be successful in the simulation. But I want you to be mindful in terms of marketing and advertising. If your prices are not right, if your prices are not based on your value, then you are not going to benefit from marketing and advertising, right? Just think about this like in basic terms. A hotel does a lot of advertising, so you get the hotel information, you see the price, and you say, oh, I see, but no, I'm not going to buy into this. This is not a good price for this hotel, right? So if you want marketing and advertising to be effective, then your prices should be right. Your prices should be based on the value that you provide to your target customers. And also, at the end of each month, we do performance measurement, right? So the nice part of this game is you input your decisions, then at the end of the month, you see the consequence of that decision making. This is very impactful because, you know, if we were working on regular case studies where we just look at hotels, you know, how they have done historically, what is the consequence of their decisions, etc., they're all static in time, right? But here, you put together a strategy with your team, and then you implement it, and at the end of the month you see whether that strategy worked or not. So at the end of each month we have performance analysis, right? And we do performance measurement in many different ways. So at the end of each month we should jump into market indexes and check how our occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR compares to the comp set, right? And we want a RevPAR index that is RGI higher than 100 to be successful. But this is a very, very basic measure, right? If you are doing rooms revenue management, you can target an RGI higher than 100 and you can consider yourself successful. But as we move forward during this term, learn different topics, you might have different performance measures, right? You might think about, for example, total revenue per available room as a performance measure if you are doing total revenue management. If you are doing profit management, you can have gross operating profit per available room as a performance measure, right? You are going to select your performance measure depending on your revenue management objective. And in the simulation, we have a well-rounded performance measure that is a balanced scorecard. And we are going to talk about that further in this presentation. And finally, we see the importance of teamwork, right? It was interesting for all the instructors of this class to monitor teamwork dynamics, right? There were some teams that were together all the time. They gave all the decisions all the time. They were discussing everything with each other all the time. And there were some teams we had like, one or two active person that came to all the workshops, have done all the work, and then we had other team members coming and going. Right, we have many different team dynamics, but from a learning point of view, it was very important to immerse yourself in the simulation, right? And I hope that the teams have done some type of job rotation, because let's say, you just focused on sales and marketing for the entire time, then that will be all you know in the simulation, right? You have to be involved in value creation. You have to understand how to do a short-term forecast. You have to understand, based on forecast, how to price your rooms, right? And at the end of each month, you have to understand how to interpret the findings of the simulation. So this was supposed to be my very short intro, but I just wanted to sort of put everything together and also relate a little bit to the class content that we have covered. So I hope this experience gave you an opportunity to implement what you have learned in this class and put revenue management theory in practice. I hope you enjoyed playing the simulation and you were able to immerse yourself in this very interactive learning environment. In this part of the lecture, I would like to walk you through some of the simulation rules. So, as you know, your overall performance in the simulation is measured by a balanced scorecard. So let's take a look at different sections of the balanced scorecard in the system. So you have an overall score, and that is impacted by operations, owner's perspective, guest satisfaction, and staff loyalty. But in this simulation, I actually turn off all the staff-related decisions because I wanted you focused on revenue management, pricing, forecasting, and marketing. For that reason, that is 0%. But other than that, it is pretty much sort of equally distributed among operations, owner, and guest satisfaction. Each section is about 33 to 34% important, right, and add up together to 100%. So now let's take a look at the components of different sections. So market quadrant is mostly related to the operations, right, and the consequence of operations related decisions. So here rooms market share is worth 25%, RevPAR 25%, total revenue per available room 26%, and RGI, this is your RevPAR index, is valued at 24%, and you add these up together, you get 100%. In terms of financial quadrant, so this is related to owner's expectations. We have gross operating profit, we have net profit, return on equity, return on capital employed, and management fees, and each category here is valued at 20%. Then third section is the impact on guest satisfaction. Here we have room refurbishment, public space refurbishment, facilities, services, and guest service. Let's see how these are measured. So room refurbishment is the perceived quality of refurbishment, where 100% would be the perfect condition. Public space refurbishment, perceived quality of the public area, and then 100% would be considered as perfect. Facilities, if you have all the facilities, then this value would be 100%. If you had all the services, this value would have been 100%. And then guest service is the degree to which guest service quality impacts hotel's ability to compete for the market share. Again, because we don't have employee engagement here, we don't see much going on with the guest service because we are not giving employee related decisions. And staff loyalty is related to associate engagement. This is the quadrant that is not active in the game, right? So we don't make decisions in relation to staffing levels, competence, pay, or associate facilities. So this is how the scorecard in the game is formulated. So another place that you look a lot is the price value map, right? So because I turn off F&B and meeting and space option, when you look at price value map, you only see price value map for the guest rooms. So how is the value determined in the system, in this graph, right? Sort of, you have price, low price, high price, and value, low value, high value. So how is the value determined? So premium room refurbishment is valued at 16%, standard room refurbishment 16%, public areas refurbishment 16%, facilities and services, again, if you have all the facilities, this is valued at 16%. If you have all the services, it's valued at 16%, and staffing 20%. And again, not much going on in relation to staffing. So this is how the system calculates value in price value map. If you have selected social media comments, time to time you receive the messages from the customers, right? Some summary of some customer comments. So I want to show you sort of, the different messages that you might have received and what is the extent of messages you could have received. So for example, related to price, your room rates seem competitive, you are fairly priced, we prefer your prices. So they are divided into positive and negative, right? So I'm sure you have received, some of these comments in relation to the price. Then we have a category for advertising, some positive comments, we like your advertising, it's very helpful, versus if you are not spending enough money on advertising, you would have received comments like, oh, we only found you by chance. Will you be advertising anytime soon? We would like to know more about you, etc. Then we have marketing, positive and negative. You have strong marketing image, you have strong market presence, you market yourself well, versus we shy away from the hotels that don't have a strong market brand. We tend to overlook hotels that don't have a strong brand marketing presence. We have a hard time finding information about the hotel, etc. Then also we have comments related to F&B staffing, but we don't have those in the game. About refurbishment, we have some positive and negative comments. So customers might appreciate that your hotel is in good condition and they let you know. Or if your facilities don't look great, state of your facilities in comparison to the competitors, they are going to complain. Also, we have comments about facilities and services. So if you build more facilities and services that your target customers appreciate, then system is going to send you comments, positive and negative comments, customer appreciating new facilities and services, or customers complaining about the lack of facilities and services. And the last section is about market share. So if you're a company that price right based on your value, you are going to receive positive comments about your market share. But if you don't receive any comments, it doesn't mean that you are doing a bad job, right? This is sort of the system's decisions. This is how system distributes these comments somewhat on a random basis as it sees appropriate to your particular decision-making process. Hello everyone, welcome to RevSim Review. So in this review, we are going to take a look at 4 performance evaluation tables that are available for you for your own hotel only. But on my screen, I am able to see these statistics across the board, across all hotels competing. So in this class, we have 10 hotels competing. These hotels are Aqua Oasis, Beatrix, City Inn, Hotel Transylvania, Jade Hotel, Misty Bay, the Lumiere, the Park, the Velvet, and Urban Oasis. I am going to introduce you to 4 performance comparison reports. First one is what you see on the screen, which is business summary. Next one is competition. Then we will take a look at balance scorecard and market mix. So at this point, you are in June, right? So we have year-to-date statistics until the beginning of June or until end of May. So let's take a look at operating statistics. So if we look at rooms sold for both premium and standard, Beatrix Hotel is leading here. They also have the highest total occupancy at around 70.49%. And if we look at all other occupancies across the board, with the exception of Aqua Oasis, all other hotels' year-to-date occupancies are in the range of 50%. And then we have a bunch of measures, bunch of statistics related to your rates, starting with ADR, net ADR, RevPAR, TRevPAR, TRevPOR, and GOP-PAR. So if we just take a look at, for example, revenue per available room, this is, again, Beatrix Hotel is leading this with 104, but we see some other hotels are coming close, right? City Inn with 100, Misty Bay with 100, and Urban Oasis with 100. They are coming close. GOP-PAR is also quite important, right? Because gross operating profit per available room shows your ability to control your expenses. And again, our Beatrix is leading here as well. And let's take a look at some more statistics here on the bottom of the page. So highest room revenue is achieved by Beatrix, 4.7%, additional revenue around 600,000, which brings the total revenue up to 5.3 million. GOP percentage, again, here is where we see who is very good at controlling their expenses. So we have, again, Beatrix here is highlighted, but you see we have other hotels that are actually also doing quite well, right? We have 37.84, that is Urban Oasis, so they are doing quite a fantastic job as well. So who else is doing a good job? Here we have Lumiere. Lumiere is also doing a good job controlling their expenses, and also City Inn is also doing quite a good job. So next we are going to take a look at competition. Okay, again, we are looking at year-to-date results here. So we have already seen room revenue and occupancy percentage. So we have here net profit as well. So we see a few hotels here that have net profits minus, right? So they urgently need to improve their standing, improve their performance. But apart from those, everybody is in positive side, which is good news. So now let's take a look at indexes. Okay, we have occupancy index, we have ADR index, ARI, and then we have RevPAR index. So if we look at RGI, which is the RevPAR index, again, Beatrix Hotel is leading here, but we have quite many other successful hotels as well, right? City Inn is doing well, Hotel Transylvania is doing well, Misty Bay is doing well, Lumiere is doing well, and Urban Oasis is also doing well. We have some hotels in the border, Jade Hotel, Park, you are very close to 100, and Velvet is a little bit lacking behind, but Aqua Oasis have a lot to do actually to improve their standing here. In terms of rooms market share, again, Beatrix is the leading hotel here, And we have a bunch of other hotels that are just around that 10% mark. Rate efficiency. So rate efficiency, if you remember, rate efficiency percentage looks at your ADR in comparison to your bar rate, right, as a percentage. So you are basically looking at how much discount you provide across the board in comparison to your bar rate. So the park has very, very high rate efficiency here. So they almost all their rates are very similar to their bar rate. So this is quite concerning, actually, to me. At this point in the game, where we still have plenty of empty rooms to sell, right? So look at the total occupancy of this hotel, 54%, yet they hardly provide any discount across their rates in comparison to their bar rates. So this is not the best strategy, right, in terms of your pricing structure. Look at our winning hotel. Their rate efficiency is at 87.42%. Lumiere also has a similar rate efficiency here, and everybody else is hanging just around 90%. And then we have penetration indexes for different segments. So these indexes actually shouldn't have been percentage, they should have been actual numbers. They are mispresented here. But again, here we can see across the board which segments are doing well, which segments are not doing so well. But here Beatrix Hotel is leading them as well. Then we have additional statistics here: revenue variance, TRevPAR, TRevGI index, and TRevPG. So in terms of revenue variance, this is again your ability to forecast revenue accurately. Beatrix is leading here as well. And we see some hotels have a lot of problem in terms of their forecast accuracy. So who gets close to Beatrix? It is the Velvet. They are not doing a bad job either. Then on the bottom of this page, we have the rate comparison. Well, this information is available to everybody, so no point for me to take a look at that one. Let's take a look at our balanced scorecard. Remember, the hotel with the best balanced scorecard is going to win this game. So currently, the hotel with the best balanced scorecard is no surprise, right? Beatrix, because they are doing so well across the board. They are leading in market measures, which are valued at 34%. Financial measures are valued at 33%, and guest satisfaction measures are valued at 33%. So percentages are pretty balanced across three sections of the balanced scorecard. So Beatrix is number one for all market measures, and for GOP, for financials, except for GOP, they are leading across the board. And Urban Oasis, you know, they actually are in a better place here. And we have seen this, I think it was in business summary. So well done, Urban Oasis, on that. And you see these two teams are actually on the top of the class right now. And when we look at guest satisfaction, you see Beatrix is not on top in terms of that. But because they have done so well in market and financial part, they are ranked on top of the class. So number 2 here is Urban Oasis, and number 3 is Mr. Bay. So congratulations to the top three teams here. So again, if you are a little bit lost and you are wondering, okay, I'm playing this game, but how am I doing in comparison to everybody else? You can see that on this page. And the final comparison report we are going to take a look at is the market mix. Okay, so here you see who is doing best in which particular segment. But if you look overall market share, the best performing hotel here is Mr. Bay. And remember, we have 10 hotels in this game, and all 10 hotels have 300 rooms, so the fair market share is around 10%. And Misty Bay is doing a fantastic job with 11.75% in terms of market share. Are they leading the game? No, because market share is all about occupancy, right? You need to balance that with your rate. With your rate structure. And number 2 is the Park overall with 10.73%. Number 3 is the leading hotel Beatrix, and number 4 is the Velvet. And after that, I think when we go number 5, we are already, getting below the fair share. And you see here, not all hotels are leading in each segment, right? So I think this is very useful for you, especially if you are a hotel that have problems with the market share, right? For example, if I take a hotel like the Lumiere and look at their rank in terms of their market share, in some segments they are doing fantastic, right? Some segments are above 10%, above 11%, but some segments are like 7%, 8%. So then you need to figure out why those segments are not performing well. So I think this page provides a lot of useful information in terms of that. So I hope this performance comparison has been useful to you. If you are winning so far, congratulations. If you are not doing so well, don't feel negative about it. It's just a class learning exercise, and you still have a few months to improve your performance. Hello everyone. Welcome to RevSim Review. In this review, we are going to take a look at 4 different comparison reports, including business summary, competition report, balance scorecard, and market mix. So in this class, we have 6 hotels competing. They are 2 JXD, Blue Diamond, Downtown Oasis Hotel, 4 Home, Mark International Hotel, and Ocean Pearl. So let's take a look at the first report, business summary. So all these reports are actually available to you, but you can see them for your hotel only. So for the first time, you will be able to see across the board the comparison of your hotel to the 5 other hotels in the market. So let's take a look at operating statistics. So among 6 hotels, best performing hotel actually is Blue Diamond with 67% total occupancy, which is ironic because the members of this team are missing for the past 2 classes. They are not in the class yet, they are still performing so well. It's a bit ironic. So in terms of total occupancy, the hotel that comes closest to them is 4 Home with about 64% occupancy. Now let's take a look at rate-related measures. We have ADR, net ADR, RevPAR, TRevPAR, TRevPOR, and GOP PAR. So if we look at RevPAR, 4 Home has the highest RevPAR with $95. Right, and 3 hotels have $91 as RevPAR, Mark International, Downtown Oasis, and Blue Diamond. And let's take a look at GOP PAR as well. Gross operating profit is hotel's ability to control the expenses, right, while generating revenue. 4 Home is leading here with $36 as well. Then if we scroll down to the bottom, we have some additional statistics here. But if we just focus on like total revenue, highest revenue is achieved by 4 Home, 5.8%, and highest gross operating percentage is also achieved by 4 Home, 33.46%, and also that gives them highest pre-tax profit percentage of 3.43%. So here, if you're on the negative side, it's a little bit concerning, right? We have 3 hotels that have negative pre-tax profit percentage. So let's take a look at competition. Okay, so in terms of total revenue, For Home is leading with 5.1%. And total occupancy, highest total occupancy is achieved by Blue Diamond, 67.72%. So here, you see a perfect example of, how occupancy doesn't give you everything, right? So this hotel, Blue Diamond, achieved 67.72% occupancy with $134 ADR. So this is quite a low rate, right? In comparison to the winning team, when we look at revenues, they have lower occupancy, but their rates are much higher, which gives them the highest RevPAR of $95. Right here, where we see really the dynamics of occupancy and ADR and how they come together to form RevPAR. Also, we have here occupancy index, ADR index, and RevPAR index. So when we look at these measures across the board here, For Home Hotel is leading with 108.6, but also 3 other hotels are doing fine, right? We have Mark International 103, Downtown Oasis 102.8, Blue Diamond 102.7. And 2 JXD and Ocean Pearl, they have to pull up basically their work to achieve a RevPAR index of at least 100. And when we look at gross operating profit per available room, we have already seen this, I think. For Home is leading here with 36. Rate efficiency. So let's take a look at rate efficiency across the board. Rate efficiency, remember, as a definition, it compares your bar rate to your ADR. And if the percentage is lower, that means you are providing a lot of discount across the board in your rates in comparison to the bar rate. Here, the highest rate efficiency is by Blue Diamond, 94%, and lowest is by, I guess it's For Home, 85.62%. Again, here we are looking at a low demand period, so we are in July, so this team did 6 months of the simulation so far. So you have many rooms to sell. When you have many rooms to sell, you should do price segmentation. You should have high and low prices at the same time, which is likely to lower your rate efficiency, right? So here during low demand period, having a high rate efficiency may not be the best thing to do, and we can actually see that here. Then we have 3 penetration indexes. Again, these shouldn't have been presented in percentages, but they are denoted in percentages here. Then on the bottom, we have revenue variance, TRevPAR, TRevGI index, and TRevPG. But just looking at revenue, For Home again is leading here with 5.8 million, but several hotels are close to that value. And revenue variance, this is your ability to forecast revenue. This is again led by Blue Diamond, followed by For Home. And on the bottom, we have comparison of rates, but this information is available to you already in the comparison reports. So now let's take a look at balanced scorecard. Remember, balanced scorecard shows us the winner of this game, right, at this point in time. So, looking across 6 hotels, winning hotel is For Home, okay, and they are doing fantastic in 3 different parts of the balanced scorecard. We have market section, financial section, and guest satisfaction section. Look at the weights, they are pretty much equal, right? With market being 1% higher. And for home, in this segment, they have done very well, just with the exception of rooms market share, but that's okay because they haven't charged the lowest prices. They are just ranked 2, which is still a very good ranking. And this ranking is being led by Blue Diamond. And in financial part, they're on top of their game, which is again very well done. And then for guest satisfaction, their rank ranges between 1 to 4. It is 4 actually is because of facilities. So they are lacking in some of the facilities in comparison to other hotels. So congratulations to For Home for leading the game here. Number 2 is Downtown Oasis Hotel, and number 3 is Mark International Hotel. So now let's take a look at our final performance comparison page, that is Market Mix. Okay, so here we are able to see room market share for all different segments, and of course you can see this, but here you're able to see a comparison, right, where you rank in comparison to everybody else in this class. So let's first calculate fair share. So we have 6 hotels here. All hotels have same number of rooms, so fair share is around 16.67%. Okay, so keep that in mind, 16.67%. Blue Diamond, across the board, they are doing very well with 19.53% market share. They are number 1. Number 2 is For Home, 17.86%. And number 3 is Downtown Oasis, 17.25%. But again, here we see another example of why getting the highest market share or having the highest occupancy doesn't make you successful in revenue management, right? You have to balance it with rate. And in this game, the hotel that has done best so far is For Home in terms of this particularly. But also, when we look at even a hotel that is leading here, Blue Diamond, they are not leading in everything, right? There are some segments where their rank is quite low, so their market penetration to those segments are not very high. So I think it's a good idea to review here your room market share in comparison to your competitors. Find the segments you are doing well and continue doing well in them, and find the segments that you are not doing so well and find the reason why and improve your percentage. So here there are some winners and there are some losers. So if you are winning here, congratulations. If you are losing, please don't be upset. This is just a learning exercise, and maybe you are doing something like this for the first time and you are learning from it. Hi, welcome to RevSim Review. In this section, we are going to take a look at 4 performance comparison reports. And these reports are Business Summary, Competition, Balance Scorecard, and Market Mix. There are 4 hotels competing in this class. This is a very small class. And there are 2 actual hotels that students are running. Those are Corporate Keys and the Hilton Hotel. And 2 other hotels are run by me. These hotels are just like any other and unlike any other. But I would like to note here that the decisions for these 2 hotels that I operate, decisions are not optimized. So I'm just, running it like a student team. So in the comparison reports that we are going to look at, you can in fact see this report for your hotel only. But for the first time today, you will be able to see it across all hotels competing in this section. So let's start with business summary and let's take a look at operating statistics. So on the occupancy side, we have rooms sold for premium, standard, total rooms sold, weekday, weekend, and total occupancy. Hilton Hotel is leading with 63% occupancy. Okay, all other occupancies like range in the 50s here. So Hilton is the best performing hotel in terms of occupancy. When it comes to ADR and net ADR, Corporate Keys is leading with 158 and 140. But when we come to RevPAR and TRevPAR, Hilton Hotel is leading. Another important ratio here, where we look at your ability to control your expenses while you generate revenue, is gross operating profit per available room, GOP-PAR. Hilton Hotel is leading in this category as well. As we scroll down, we have additional statistics here. Room revenue, additional revenue, total revenue, GOP percentage, and pre-tax profit percentage. Again, in all categories here, Hilton Hotel is leading. And Hilton Hotel has the only hotel with positive pre-tax profits, right? When you look at Corporate Keys, just like any other, unlike any other, everybody is standing in minus right now. So next, let's take a look at competition. In competition, we already know that highest revenue, profit, and occupancy is reached by Hilton Hotel, and the highest rates are reached by Corporate Keys. But when we look at occupancy index, ADR index, and RevPAR index, you see the most successful hotel is Hilton Hotel with 110. And the hotel that comes closest to Hilton Hotel is unlike any other. Their RGI is just around 100. Two other hotels, just like any other, and Corporate Keys, their RevPARs are like here you have 7.8%, here also around 7% lower than average RevPAR in this market. And in terms of rooms market share, in this class we have 4 teams competing. All 4 teams have 300 rooms, so 100 divided by 4, fair market share is around 25%, right? And we see here Hilton Hotel achieved that and surpassed that. Just like any other is just around that, but other 2 hotels are lacking. Next statistics I would like to discuss is rate efficiency percentage. Rate efficiency percentage looks at sort of, compares your bar rate to your ADR. So if you have a lot of discount across the board in comparison to your bar rate, you are likely to have a lower rate efficiency. If you provide less discount across the board in comparison to your bar rate, then you will have higher rate efficiency. So here, the hotel with highest rate efficiency is Corporate Keys, followed by unlike any other. And our winning hotel, Hilton Hotel, is sort of, in the middle, very similar to just like any other. The 3 penetration indexes here, they shouldn't have been represented in percentages, okay? This is wrong. But here you can see in which segment you are doing well and which segment not so well. Corporate Keys is doing very well in group, but their performance is not good enough in transient and discount. Just like any other, is doing very good in discount segment, but not so great in group and transient segment. Hilton Hotel is doing fantastic in transient and discount. They can do better in group segments. Unlike any other transient, they need to do better. They are doing okay in the other 2 segments. When we look at revenue versus revenue variance, we are looking at your ability to do forecast, right? And having a low forecast error. Unlike any other, is doing the best job in terms of that, and Hilton Hotel is doing the worst here. So Hilton Hotel, check your ability to forecast and try to figure out what is going on here, basically. On the bottom here, you have the rate comparison. That information is available to you. So now let's take a look at balanced scorecard. Remember, at the end of this game, whoever has the best balanced scorecard, they are going to win the game. Balanced scorecard has 3 sections: market, financial, and guest satisfaction. All of them are weighted equally, except for market. It has 1% higher weight. Our winning hotel is Hilton Hotel here, and they are leading both in market and financial sections. and they're also doing pretty good in guest satisfaction. And second hotel here is unlike any other. And again, here you can compare your statistics, your numbers with your competitors. Now let's take a look at the final tab, which is market mix and market share. So remember, in this class, fair share is 25%. So if your overall market share is above 25%, you are doing quite well, right? So here Hilton Hotel is leading the game and leading the market share, 29%, followed by unlike any other, and just like any other, they are quite similar, and then Corporate Keys. So here, what is worthwhile is to study the segments that you are doing well, okay, and continue doing well in them, but also try to find the segments that you are not doing so well and see what you can do. For our winning hotel Hilton, there are a bunch of places here where they are ranked number 4 in terms of their room market share, right? So they can visit those segments and see what they can do to improve. Corporate Keys, you are not leading the game by any means, but there are some segments you are doing better than the others, right? You are number 1 in large group during weekday. So check what are you doing there to put you in this place, and why are you number 4 for bar segment, for example. Bar is the most important segment in the game. So do some investigation here and try to figure out how you can improve your performance. So congratulations to the winning team. If you are not on the winning side, please don't be upset. This is just a learning exercise, and especially if you are coming from a background where you don't understand hotel business so well, maybe this game is, something very different to you and it takes time to learn, and that's okay.